Kupp gets the MVP, but how are you feeling if you had, say, a Donald MVP ticket? It was plus 1,400 on the DK Sportsbook yesterday, Jeff. When we talked about this last week, it was plus 1,600.
You should feel like a dope for betting a defensive player to win MVP. We told you all week. Don't bet the defensive players to win MVP. You weren't getting good value with Aaron Donald. I don't care what anybody says. Look what happened. The guy had a great game. He basically made a game-saving play at the end to win. What happened? You got nothing. You got nothing for it because Cooper Kupp is also on the Rams and also made the same plays. And whenever there's a tie to the runner, they're going to give it to the offensive player. So, yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for you. You don't deserve anything. You bet a defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP in a game that's dominated by offensive players and studs and stars like Cooper Kupp out there making great catches. Aaron Donald's fantastic. He could have easily won it. He was on the same page as Cooper Kupp. They're never going to give it to him in that situation, though. So don't bet defensive players to win Super Bowl MVP.
All right, Pierce, how do you feel about this one? When Donald gave Joe Burrow that hard but legal shove out of bounds in the third quarter, it was the first stat he recorded in the box score.
No one cares. No one cares about Aaron Donald. And Jeff wasn't harsh enough. If you made that sucker bet, you're a loser. You knew not to pick a defensive player. You had no chance. He needed, and we talked about this last week, for a defensive player to win MVP. And it's not an MVP, by the way. If you thought that this was literally for the most valuable player, then you probably had no business making the bet anyway. It's a popularity bet. It goes to the most recognizable player with a big game. It's like a TV title in professional wrestling. It's not really going to the guy who has the biggest impact, or otherwise it would be the award for the player with the biggest impact. That's not what this is. It's a popularity contest. Kupp won. And you knew that he could have a lifetime performance on defense, and you would also need no one on offense at all to have a good game. And that was just very unlikely with the two offenses setting up. You knew that someone was going to be above average and end up winning. Maybe, you know, if the end of the game plays out a little differently, but whatever. You knew you weren't going to win.
All right, Matt, let's not act like he shouldn't have been in consideration, though, because after that mini fight, like, the beast was awoken, finished with a 17.5 pressure rate, 4 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, had the final 2 game-clinching plays.
Yeah, I mean, I do like disagreeing with these guys in general, but for this one, there's just no way. Like, I think we all talked about it all week that, sure, Aaron Donald had a chance, and maybe if one of his sacks turns into a fumble, maybe he gets a touchdown somewhere, like that was the scenario you needed, but we were all on the same page that just the odds were not high enough for that scenario. If I'm surprised about anything, it's that Stafford didn't win. Like, I kind of thought that could have gone either way between Stafford and Kupp. But I think what ultimately sealed it for Kupp is the fact that he scored the game-winning touchdown twice on the final drive. He got absolutely rocked, and then it didn't count on the first touchdown pass that he caught. And then he just went right back out there and scored again. I think after that whole sequence, it was at least somewhat obvious that Kupp was going to win. I think it could have gone to Stafford, but yeah, there was no way. Like, if you were sitting on an Aaron Donald ticket, you just didn't really understand what this MVP award was about, which is the player who kind of was the most popular on the winning team and was the face of the game, so to speak, for them. And that's never going to be a defensive player unless they do something totally miraculous. And Donald played extremely well and might have actually been the Rams' best player, but he came up well short of those standards.